Is learning when to stop a key part of telling a story?
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. It's that point about sort of like getting the key in the lock. Know the lock that you're driving towards, and don't drunkenly think that you're arriving at the point. I mean, know
Yeah.
where this thing, knows where your story stops, and also I think it's not something I struggle with in storytelling. I mean, but I mean, God knows there are enough other things I struggle with. But I mean, just in terms of storytelling, one of the things is people putting in extraneous detail that isn't necessary. It's sort of like, you know, I remember I walked into the office of the client and there was the most wonderful aroma of bacon coming from the kitchen that morning. And you sort of think, okay, you went to talk to them about an audit. How is the smell of bacon relevant to this? It's sort of like, it better, you know, unless it appears later in the office, you know. And I was talking to the client and suddenly this bacon sandwich appeared. And I thought, you know, Chekhov, the writer, sort of said, if you bring a gun on in Act One, it better go bang in Act Three. He said it
Yeah.
probably a lot better than that. And
Is
so
is
if you're
that is
putting
that is that
detail,
people trying too hard?
people trying way too hard, putting in, if
Yeah.
trim it back. The interesting thing, if we go back to that thing about you envisaging me in the office in Switzerland,
Yeah.
you were adding detail that I hadn't done. You could see those people. I hadn't said. I remember he was wearing an MCC tie and blah blah. You know, whatever it was. I mean, you
Mm.
dressed the people for yourself. You knew what they looked like. You knew what the offices looked like without me actually having to tell you that. Um,
Well, because I guess
you
a
co-created.
Swiss banker has a stereotype, don't they? I mean,
Exactly
and
right.
that's so you allude to it, and then my brain does the rest.
And that's great storytelling, especially in a
Okay.
that's I think in I was going to say in a business context, but I think in any context, because essentially, why do people lean in? A, because you've set a relevance and a context for them that makes them think, okay, I better listen to this, and then
Yeah.
you've put enough detail that they can then add to. So as an audience and as a speaker, you are co-creating this story together, which is that's that's where we're heading for.
That's the magic.
That's the magic. Just say
Okay.
enough.